Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is the Arabic class in October 11th, 2020. And we want to find out about the names. Some of the names, they are not allowed to have Kasra or Tanwin. Kasra or Tanwin. Okay? They are not allowed to have Tanwin or Kasra. Tanwin or Kasra. So you cannot have Kasra, you cannot have Tanween. Names like Zainab, for example. Zainab. Make it even bigger. Zainab. Do I say Zainabu? Zainab is the name of a person. Okay. Do I say Zainabu or Zainabun? Because Sarf is forbidden, it means that it can't have Tanween or Kasra. So I cannot say Zainabun. I have to say Zainabu. Same thing. I cannot say Maryamun. These are all names. I have to say Maryamu. Su'ad, which is a name. I cannot say Su'adun. I can say Su'adu. I cannot say Su'adi. Okay? So Zainabun is not allowed here. Zainabi is not allowed either because Tanween and Kasra are not allowed. Maryamun is not allowed. Maryami is not allowed either. Su'adun is not allowed. Su'adi is not allowed either. So what are these names where I can't have Tanween or Kasra? Okay. Any name that ends with ta' marbuta, this one's ta' marbuta, okay? Any name that ends with ta' marbuta, and I want to show you here, this is the keyboard, open the Arabic. So there is ta' marbuta, this is ta' maftuha, and this is ta' marbuta, okay? Okay, so the ta' maftuha and ta' marbuta. So make sure when you're saying, when you have a word that ends with ta' marbuta and you want to bring the double form, for example, make sure you replace the ta' marbuta with an open ta', which I'm going to give you an example now. For example, if we say waladun, if I say, let's say la'ib, la'iba, say la'iba, and I want to make it two, double, la'ibatan. So can I just add alif noon like this? See, this is what I noticed problem in the homework. You have la'iba, which is one player, okay? To make them double, you add alif noon, okay? But you forget to replace this ta' marbuta with ta' maftuha. So it looks like that, which is wrong. So what you do is that you have this one. You make sure you change this one into ta' maftuha here. Okay? Note it because I've seen this in the homework. Okay? Any questions? Okay. So pay attention to this. Now, about homework number 5, which you have to do, is very simple. Here, Muhammad is a name. So I ask you to classify Muhammad. So you say Muhammad, 1M, means one male. Saliha, okay, is a righteous female. Why female? Because it has the what? What makes me think it's female? Because it has the تاء مربوطة at the end. Okay, so then it's one female. I can refer to the table that we have in the grammar book, where this table right here, it helps me identify. For example, how do I know it's a regular female? Because it ends with ta' marbuta. So when I go there, I know it is ta' marbuta, then it has to be female. And since it's not ending with alif noon or ya noon, it cannot be double. Okay? And since it's not ending with alif ta, cannot be double. So it has to be single. Why? Because it's not ending with alif noon, ya noon, waw noon, or alif ta. Okay? Because if we go back to this table, it tells me how do I identify single nouns? Ta marbut, ta at-ta'nith, ending with ta at-ta'nith. It's not ending with alif noon or ya noon. It's not ending with ta noon or ta alif noon or ta ya noon. And it's not ended with waw noon or ya noon. And it's not ended with alif ta. Okay? So then the only possibility left is that it's one female. So generally speaking, once you have ta marbuta, then once you have the ta marbuta, then you know it is single female. Doesn't have any other possibility. So that's why Saliha is righteous, one female. Okay? Okay, help me out. Here, this one ends with ta marbuta. Saeed is happy. So Saida is happy. In English, both are happy. But here is one female. English doesn't have distinction, so we have to reduce this. See, one female. The way you get it like this is you do superscript. So you type it, and then you do superscript, then it becomes like this, okay? And it's one female, because the word happy in English could be one male and one female. But in Arabic, there's a difference. If I don't have this ta, then it's one male. I have the ta, then it's one female. Okay? For example, we come here. That ends with ya noon. Ends with ta, ya, noon. Okay? So you know it's a female. Okay? But look at the letter. It's a, it's fatha, kasra. Fatha, kasra. The fatha comes first and the kasra comes second. So when we go back to the rules, book of rules here, you find the warning telling you about this. Okay, here it says 2 male is going to be لاعبين. 3 plus male لاعبين. So you do not mistaken. They look exactly the same. But if it is بيني, then it is male, 2 males. بين لاعبين, then it is plural, 3 plus male. You understand? Clear. So, okay. So when you come here, don't be tricked. This is tiny. Tiny means it's double. Zara is farmer. Okay. So this is farmer. How do I know it's farmer? How did I figure out it's farmer? I go where? To the Arabic translator. Google Translator. So I put, okay, farmers. Oh, actually, I'm supposed to give the Arabic. زارع. زارع. Okay, so the English is planter. Okay, I'll go with planter, fine, even though it's more accurate to say farmer. Okay, and by the way, before we forget, how do you get the when you go to the website of the school? Okay, how do you get the copy of the rules of the book? You can get it in PDF format. The book we're talking and we're looking at, you can get it in PDF format, or you can get it in Word format. And this would be updated. This book is updated every like 4 weeks. So you just need to download it again every like 2-3 weeks. So that's the book we're looking at. Okay. Now take us back to the homework number 5. So farmer, that's 3 here. This is farmer, that's 2M. Why? Because we go back to the rules. We go back to the rules. The one with Kasra, Ya, Fatha is 3M, but the one with Fatha, Ya, Kasra is 2M. Okay? Okay. We go back here. Okay. Now, how do I know if it's a male or female? If it has a ta here, then it's a female. If it doesn't, then it's male, 2 male. So I'm going to say farmer. Okay, and that's 2 female. And I highlight them and I use a superscript. Okay, 2 female because it has ta and then followed by ya noon. And it's 2 because it's fatha kasra. Fatha ya kasra. Then it's 2. To make it clear, this one, if you compare this one here, ending with ya noon. So it has to be plural. It has to be either plural or double. But because kasra ya fatha, it becomes plural. Okay? But if it's fatha ya kasra, becomes double, dual. Okay? Student. 1 female. I'm sorry, 1 male. That's a student, 1 male. Okay? Why? How do I know? It's either Google Translator or you go to the table that identifies here that tells you how do I know it's a single noun. You look through this table and you see it fits one of those tables. It doesn't end with female ta, and it doesn't end with waw noon, alif noon, ya noon. It doesn't end with alif noon, doesn't end with ya noon, doesn't end with ta, alif noon, doesn't end with ta, ya noon, doesn't end with ya noon or waw noon, doesn't end with alif ta, then it gotta be single now. Okay, because you rule out all these possibilities. Let's pick another example. This noun, I want to find out what it is. So I go, na'im means sleeper. So I go there and I look. I find that the only possibility for a noun to end with 2 alif noon without ta ta'nith, then it's 2 male. Now, alif noon, ya noon for 2 male, ta alif noon, ta ya noon for 2 females. So I know it has to be this one. Why? Look. Here. Ending with alif noon. Here, ending with alif noon. Ending with alif noon. Okay? Then it has to be double. So sleeper, sleepers, 2M, and you do like this. You got it? And you switch between Arabic and English from here. From the language toolbar, you switch Arabic and English. Okay? Okay. Let's say this one. Ends with waw noon. Then for sure, if it ends with waw noon, then the only possibility is this one. There is nothing else ends with waw noon except the regular male plural, 3 plus M. Okay, so I go back to the homework and I know it's a sleeper, so sleepers, and then it is 3 plus male. Okay, I'm sorry. This one. Okay. How do I know that na'imatun is 3 plus female? Because it ends with alif ta. And if I go here, to the rules, the only possibility for alif ta is this one. It's female 3F. There's no other possibility. So I know it's a 3. See, the way I structured the course, I did it like, because I'm an engineer, I have a PhD in engineering. So I deal with the Arabic as an engineer. So rules are numbered. Rules are numbered. So later on, when we describe procedures, I'll be saying rule 250, row 2, column 3. Or rule 260, I'm numbering the columns and the rows so that you can reference. And you can say according to table 250. Where's that alif ta? Here, this alif ta. So you say according to table 250, row number 7, column number 3. Row number 7, column number 3, it ends with alif ta. Therefore, see, all logical, all like logical. Unfortunately, there are things that are irregular, and irregular cannot be handled with like math, have to be memorized on their own. But as far as the regulars are concerned, which I'll be very happy if you learn the regulars in this class, okay? These rules are very precise, like mathematical rules, like it works like math, okay? The only possibility here is alif ta. That's the only possibility of having an alif ta. So then we go to the homework, then I know that alif ta sleeping 3 plus female. Okay. By the way, this is recorded video, so you will have all of this access to this. Do you see the word file? Do you see this table? You see this table? Yes, no? Do you see this table here?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so you can go back to the video and then you can figure out what I'm doing here. Let me pick another thing. Sabihan. There is no way. Ending with alif noon. It's one possibility only. One possibility ends with alif noon, which is what? This possibility. There is no other possibility. There's no other possibilities. There is a confusion only between this case between this case and this case. And we already talked about it. That how do I figure out, no, not this case, between this case and this case here. So this case and this case. The confusion coming because both ends with ya noon, either ya noon or ta ya noon. Okay, the confusion comes here, and then I explained exactly what needs to be done. That's how you resolve the confusion. If it's fatha ya kasra, it becomes 2 male. If it's kasra ya fatha, then it means it's a 3 plus male. Okay. So that's the only confusion, and it was resolved here. So that shouldn't cause any problems. Okay. So that one, alif noon, no brainer, double. Swimmer, sabih is a swimmer. Swimmer, 2 male, because it's not sabihatani. It's a sabihani. It doesn't have a ta, ta'nith, female ta is not there. So it's 2 male. Okay. What else? This one has ta ta'nith, then it's a single female. This one, bent, girl, has ta'nith. It's a female. I can look just by looking quickly. This one is a female, single female, 1F. Right away, this one is 1F. Okay. Now, this one, 1F. Okay, any questions about this? I'm not going to save this. So when you go on the website, you will find the table empty. Like you'll find the table like that. Go to the website. It's number 5. So you will find the table like this. And I do suggest always, and this is a very good way, is that here's the homework, that you save the homework Word file, forget about the PDF, save the Word file, okay, on your hard drive. And when you save it on your hard drive, work on it. So do the actual, just like what I was doing just a minute ago. Do the actual solution using keyboard. Okay. If your video is off, please turn it on. Okay. Any questions about homework number 5? Okay, cool. Okay. Then we talk about the sarf issue. And this homework is due too. So that's a sarf homework. We'll be doing it, okay? After we explain the subject of sarf. This would be the sarf homework. Basically, I ask you, is this name sarf allowed or forbidden for this name? Muhammad. Allowed or forbidden? Okay. So you say allowed. Okay. Then how do I know it's allowed? We'll show you the table. You say allowed based on what rule? You say rule 1, rule 3, rule 5, or note 1, or row 285. Okay, we'll explain this in a minute. But that's going to be the homework for today, which is the sarf issue. What is that sarf issue? As we started saying that there are names that cannot have tanween or kasra at the end. Cannot. Those names we call sarf is forbidden. ممنوع من الصرف. Sarf is forbidden. Okay, what are they? Names, not nouns. Don't confuse a name and a noun. These are names, okay? If it's a noun, it's a different issue. Okay, so names ending with ta marbuta or ya maqsura. Maqsura name means ya ending with ya maqsura. Or single female names. In short, all female names are forbidden, regardless of that. Okay? All female names are forbidden, regardless of that. Okay? Because there are certain names, like, for example, there are certain names that don't have ta marbuta, like Zainab. There is no ta marbuta. There is no ta'nith, female ta at the end. Maryam, there is no female ta. Su'ad, there is no female ta. But because we know Zainab, Maryam, Su'ad, these are names for women or girls, then we know it should not take sarf, is forbidden for them. Cannot have tanween, cannot have kasra. Okay? These names, we know they are female because it has ta marbuta. Because it has ta marbuta. Because it has ta marbuta, we know it's a female. Questions? Maryam, you have question?
No, sorry, I accidentally unmuted.
Okay. 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 So, names that ends with ta marbuta, female names that don't end with ta marbuta, sarf is forbidden. Female names ending with ta marbuta, sarf is forbidden. Male names ending with ta at-ta'nith, which is ta marbuta, also sarf is forbidden. You say, how come a name ending with female ta and it's a male name? Yeah, in Arabic, like Usama. Usama. Like Osama bin Laden, for example. Usama here ends with ta'nith, but it's a name for a guy. Then sarf is forbidden, even though it's a name of a guy, not a name of a girl. But because it has ta'nith at the end, here, then it is, sarf is forbidden. Even it's male, but still. Okay. Now, maqsura noun that ends with maqsura ya, like mustashfa. This ends with alif maqsura. Doesn't want a color. Nope. Where did it go? Yeah, here it ends with ya maqsura. This is ya maqsura. Doesn't want to give me a red color for whatever reason it is. But this is, we call it maqsura noun. Oh, maqsura noun. Mustashfa, Musa, Salma, Hubla, Marda. Maqsura nouns. Maqsura nouns cannot take nothing. Cannot take anything. No dhamma, no fatha, no kasra, no tanween. They always stay the same. Always. So there is no, it's not like this one where you can have dhamma, you can have fatha, you can have other things. But mustashfa will always remain mustashfa. Will always remain mustashfa. Doesn't matter what grammar rule applies to it, it's still mustashfa. There's only one form, no changes. Mustashfa. No fatha, no kasra, no dhamma, no tanween. Mustashfa. Musa. Musa is Prophet Musa. Prophet Musa. Salma. Hubla. Marda. Okay? Those, no sarf is allowed. Now, there are situations when you have 3 letters, but the middle one is sukoon, like this. 3 letters, but the middle one is sukun. Okay, when you have 3 letters, the middle one is sukun. Anyway, then you have 2 situations. Okay, if it's a name, then no sarf is allowed. But if it's not a name, then sarf is allowed. Okay, so for example, if I say Misru, that's Egypt. That's the country Egypt. Misru, that's the name in Arabic, Misr. But at the same time, Misr means a city. So Misr could be the name Egypt, or could be any city or any country. Any city or any country. Okay? How do I tell? If there's no Tanwin, then I know it's Egypt. If there is a Tanwin, then I know it's a country, any country. Got it? See how delicate is that? So in the Quran says ihbitu misran, and then min misra. So the word used in Misr in Quran is used both ways. It's used to refer to Egypt, and it's used to refer to any other country. If it's any other, then it has Tanwin. It can have Tanwin. Okay? So number 1, any ta marbuta, male or female, any ya maqsura, any male names must have ta marbuta to be forbidden. So, and these are the names that we're just talking about. Generally speaking, all female names are sarf is forbidden as a general rule. All female names, whether they have ta marbuta, whether they don't ta marbuta. And male names are forbidden only if they end up with ta ta'nith, female ta. Even though we know Hamza, Usama, Muawiyah are men, Talha are men. We know they are men, okay? But sarf is forbidden because they end up with ta marbuta. Okay, this is the main case here. That's, that a lot of, most of the things fall under this one, this case here, okay? Okay, any name or adjective that ends with alif noon, if you make sure it's not a double noun, then sarf is forbidden anyway. Uthman is a name of a guy, ended with alif noon. Affan ends with alif noon. Sufyan ends with alif noon. These are all names for a female, for male. These are all names for guys. Okay, for like Uthman, Affan, Sufyan, Marwan. That's one guy. That's just one guy. Okay, you say, okay, but it ends with alif noon. Yes, but that's a name, not a noun. Okay, so here, this table, when we say alif noon, we say alif noon, that's for a noun, not for a name. But we're talking about here, we're talking about names that ends with alif noon at the end. Kaslan, Kaslan. Okay. Jawan. عطشان. ملآن. You know this mark? I don't know about it, but if you, this mark here, if you see it in the Quran, this mark, it means it's madda. And it means that's mal'an. Mal'an. It's pronounced as an. Mal'an. So there is alif noon. but because there's a lam, we write lam alif. When there's a lam, when we want to write alif lam or lam alif, we write it like this. That's a rule in Arabic. Okay, so you can say, for example, Bilal, or you can say, yeah, like la'ib, la'ib. This is lam alif, la'ib, 2 letters, lam alif, la'ib. Okay, but if it has this mark here, it means it takes a madda, so it's mal'an. Mal'an means full. Now, I hope you guys are doing some of the vocab here. Go up here. Okay. It also tells you, where's the vocab? Interesting. Maybe it's in the actual website. No, that's an actual, maybe this is in the book. Anyway, you will find the link. Inshallah, I'll put the link there. Okay. Okay, any name that ends with alif hamza, like Sama, Awa. Okay, so if it starts with alif hamza, like Akbar, Ahsan, Abyad, Aswad, Ahmar, Asfar, Azraq, then sarf is forbidden. Anything that starts with alif hamza. Okay, anything that ends with alif hamza, أغنياء, أصدقاء, أقوياء, أطباء, فقراء, وزراء. Okay, that's noun. Remember here, this is noun. It's not a name like this. So nouns include names. If it ends with alif hamza, or starts with alif hamza, or both, because some of them, like this one, starts with alif hamza. This one here starts with alif hamza and ends with alif hamza. Okay, so whether it starts only with alif hamza, ends only with alif hamza, or both, starts with alif hamza and ends with alif hamza, either or, then its sarf is forbidden. Okay, exception if the alif hamza comes as the 3rd letter, just like Sama, Awa. If the alif hamza come the 3rd letter, then sarf is allowed. So that's an exception. Okay, then sarf is allowed. Okay, but otherwise sarf is not allowed. Sarf is not allowed. For starting with alif hamza, ending with alif hamza, or starting and ending with alif hamza, sarf is not allowed. Exception if the madda, the alif, is letter number 3. Basically, 3 and alif is 3, hamza is 4. So, okay. So basically, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 letters, starting, ending with hamza. 4 letters ending with alif hamza, or these are 2 examples. Because they are letters, the alif is letter number 3. Then sarf is allowed. Sarf is allowed here, because that's an exception. Any irregular plural that has madda in the middle, followed by 2 or 3 letters, And it sounds like this. It sounds like مفاعل. مفاعل, like what? مساجد, mosques, مدارس, schools, فنادق, hotels, مكاتب, desks, دقائق, minutes. They all sound like مفاعل. They sound like مفاعل. This means this is the sound. مفاعل, مساجد sounds like مفاعل. So مساجد مفاعله, مدارس مفاعله, فنادق مفاعله, مكاتب مفاعله, دقائق مفاعله. And this is noun, not limited to names. These are nouns, like masajidu, mosques. That's not a name. Okay. Examples of mafa'il is manadil, tissues, mafatih, keys, fanajin, coffee cups. All sounds like mafa'il. The sounding is like mafa'il, which example, manadil, mafa'il, manadil, mafa'il, mafatih, mafa'il, fanajin. Also fa'ail, fa'ail, nadha'ir, fa'ail, khama'il. You see the sounding? Nadha'ir equals khama'il. I don't remember what khama'il is. Or afa'il. Afa'il, ahadith sounds like afa'il. Afa'il, anajil, Bibles. Afa'il, ahadith, speeches or talks. Fawa'il sounds like fawa'il, like hawadith, accident, jawami', mosques. So masajid is mosques, jawami' is also mosques. Tafa'il sounds like tafa'il. Example, tasabih, tafa'il, tasabih, tafa'il, tarawih. Tasabih are saying subhanallah, 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 subhanallah. This is tasabih. Tarawih is the tarawih prayers that we pray during Ramadan. Okay, that's number 4. Number 5, names that can be used like verbs. For example, the name Ahmed. It's a name, it's a noun, it's a name, but it can be used as a verb. Ahmed can be used as a verb, which is what? Thank Allah. Ahmadullah, I thank Allah. So it's a name, and at the same time it's a verb. Then you cannot have sarf. Sarf is not allowed. And they sound like af'al and yaf'al. Af'al is like Ahmed. Yaf'al is like Yazid. Yazid is another name. Okay? Okay? Another name, but can be used as a verb. Then sarf is forbidden. There are names transformed from verbs, like the name Umar, Umar radiallahu anh. Umar, name Umar, is transferred from Amir. Zuhal is transferred from Zahil. So names that are transferred from verbs, transformed from verbs, also sarf is forbidden. All foreign names, sarf is forbidden. Foreign names mean it's not part of the Arabic language. And to make it easy, all names of prophets, sarf is forbidden, are considered foreign names, except 6. Prophet Shu'aib, Shu'aibun, Muhammadun, Lutun, Hudun, Nuhun, Salihun. All these prophets, 6 prophets, sarf is not forbidden for those. And that's why you see a Tanwin Dhamma at the end. Sarf is not forbidden for those. Okay? But Donald, you can't say Donaldon. No. You can't give it a Tanwin, Donaldon. Or Kasra, Donaldi. No. Donald, Fir'aun, the Pharaoh. Ibrahim, Prophet Ibrahim. Yusuf, Prophet Yusuf. These are all foreign names to the Arabic language. They are not part of the Arabic language. Okay? Compound names which are made of 2 words joined together, 2 syllables. because this is hadra maut. Ba'la back. So hadra maut. Hadra maut. Ba'la back. Hadra maut. Ba'la back. These are examples of the this one is not right. Okay, so it's just Ba'la. Back is, so this one, yeah, Ba'la back. Compound names. Okay. Okay. What if it can take a kasra? If it doesn't take a kasra, then what can you do? You substitute the kasra with a fatha. So if you any situation, one of these names or nouns, sarf is forbidden, it has a kasra, then it is substituted with a fatha. Okay. Sarf is not checked for dual and regular male plurals because it's not available. It's not available for double or for regular male plurals. Double and regular male plurals, there is no sarf. It's not possible to have sarf there. For regular female plural, that it has a kind of a funny rule that says that fatha is not allowed, but tanween is allowed only if there's no alif lam. Of course, there is a very important thing we have to say at the very beginning. To say, if you have alif lam, then sarf is forbidden. No exception. Any word that has alif lam, sarf is forbidden. There is no exception for that. Nouns that starts with alif lam, no sarf. But it's a kind of tricky because tanween is not permitted, but kasra is permitted. So it can have tanween, but can't have tanween, but can have kasra. So any alif lam name without exception cannot have tanween. No tanween for any name or noun starts with alif lam, no tanween. No tanween. And then there is another situation, we'll come to it later. If we're adding two nouns together, one noun is clarifying another noun. Okay, then the first noun cannot have tanween, like Rabbu al-Manzil, al-Manzili. Rabbu is the Lord, al-Manzil, house. Okay, basically it's the man of the house. Rabbu al-Manzil is like the man of the house. Or Rabbu Manzilin, yes, we can do Rabbu Manzilin, but okay. But we cannot do anything here. We cannot have a tanween on the first word here. This one cannot have tanween. Okay, because this one is okay, so that it fits. This one also cannot have tanween. This one cannot have tanween because you're adding two nouns. One noun qualifies the other. The owner of the house. Owner of house. The book of the boy. Book of the boy. The book of the boy or the book of a boy. Okay, because we're adding two nouns together, and we will have fun learning about this rule later, then we cannot have tanween on there. So that's the homework. Now when I told you that the homework number 6, okay, what is this number? Homework number 6. Homework number 6 is going to be about this. Say, this is an example. Muhammad صرف is allowed, so no further actions are required. Walad صرف is allowed, so we don't need to do anything here. But Saliha, its صرف is not allowed. Why? Because it ends with ta marbuta. And we said female names ending with ta marbuta, صرف is not allowed. صرف is forbidden, means not allowed, which means forbidden. What rule? If we go back to the grammar book, it's rule number 1. Rule number 1. It says that if you have a name ending with ta marbuta, a female name, whether it ends with ta marbuta or doesn't end with ta marbuta, cannot have صرف, cannot be allowed. So rule number 1. So when you go here and the homework, okay, you say rule number 1. Saida ending with ta marbuta, ta female ta, rule number 1. Zari'ataini doesn't apply. Why? Because it's a dual. So where do I find this? Note number 2. So I go back to the book here. Okay, I see note number 2. Says صرف is not checked for dual and regular female plurals because it's not applicable. Okay, so you go to the homework. You see. You see that I said this one, because it's a dual, according to note number 2, صرف is not allowed. Oh, sorry, not applicable. صرف is not applicable. And A means not applicable. So A allowed, N forbidden, which is not allowed, and A doesn't apply. Okay? And I've done like a few examples here. So try to do as much as you can from this table. And then, inshallah, next time we'll continue with the subject of the names that are صرف is allowed or صرف is forbidden. Okay? Assalamu alaikum. Any questions before we go? Assalamu alaikum.